No, like you don't actually understand how bad it is because we went into another country without any congressional approval and took their leader and brought him here back to us. And we're holding him and we're probably going to hold a completely sham trial. And in the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and regime change the country. Like that's what we decided to do. Do you know how bad this actually is? The two major things we've been concerned about internationally for the last decade have basically been Putin invading Ukraine, and retroactively we've now condoned that by our own behavior and proactively condoned what Xi Jinping is probably going to do in Taiwan. That's how bad it actually is. Meanwhile, Trump didn't even go to Congress to rubber stamp this. He just went ahead and did it. That's dictatorship. That's what he's doing. He just went ahead and did that. He dragged the millions of Americans into an international event. And what has he done? He's basically threatened and prompted international communities to want to not only condemn the United States, which I think they should because it's a completely bad action, but also because China has actually dealt with Venezuela and had part of that into their Chinese infrastructure. He's also given them an excuse to want to exercise more influence in our hemisphere, on our side of the Americas. That's not great because the rules-based international order, which we've all lived in since the Second World War, has guaranteed what? No humongous wars. No giant wars. Great power wars is why we went into the First and Second World War. If you do not read history, you are condemned to repeat it. And we're about to do that. Because we're effectively have said to the great powers, people who want to play terrible games like that, like China and Russia, hey, go ahead, because we're just going to play it too. Every smart person, all of the smart money, all of the intellectual people who are talking about how we ought to be approaching the future and the international order do not want this kind of to happen. And we put the dumbest PDF file into office and then basically allowed him to run the show. It is so actually bad, and we need to go protest now. We need to protest now. The American people need to be loud about this and be like, F this, we do not want this to happen. Because the international community needs to understand that this was the actions of one man, Donald Trump. And that dude needs to be kicked out of office and held to account. That's actually what we should be doing. That's how bad it is. If there's a protest today, I will go to it.